Right, we are back on the hunt for this quest to get to Scotland. Now today we're at Old Hough Fishery and we're on Big Match Lake, which is behind me here. So there's only 18 on today, so it's going to be like 2 miss one around the lake, I think. But as you can see, the conditions behind me are going to be what a big factor in it today. The wind's coming off your back on the far bank. I won't mind a peg over there, but it's coming into this bank here, and it's a cold wind today. It's not very warm. Now, one thing I'm thinking, you need to win your 6-peg section to get through. So hopefully we can do a better performance. So let's get over to the draw a peg out and see where we get. And then when we get to the peg, I'll see how we're going to tackle it, approach it, and try and get to that Scottish final and not mess it up this time. So let's go. Right, hopefully you'll be able to hear me because it's a bit windy, but we've drawn peg 28 as you've seen. So this is it, got a nice little aerator. Edge that way, edge that way. Now a lot of the talk was about a lot of shorter fishing with casters and stuff, just catching skimmers and stuff, so I feel like that's going to be the case today. I'm going to see how far I can actually set up long, but I feel like just a short day, top kitting 2 and a top kitting 1 down the edge maybe, depending. Might be a bit hard to do, but yeah, depending, I'm just going to see. Not going to set a lot up, probably need a 4x16 and 4x14s maybe a bit heavier, like a Kerry, just to see, but the wind's it's like hacking this way. So waggler's out of the equation, haven't done that, but yeah, I'm going to get set up now, get on that peg, get some stuff set up, and hopefully we catch a load of silvers. Right, we're all set up, and what I've decided to do, I've got a few lines on the go, so because of the wind, I've just gone top 4 to my left, top 4 to my right, so I've gone tight on the edge to my left, just in front of the area to my right, and then I've just gone like holding my number 5 and 6 section on my pole, so top kitting 2, just holding onto it there. I have set up a long line, but what I'm going to do with that is, I'm going to fish. I need another tub actually. A tub. I'm going to fish a bit of overwetted ground bait. So all I'm going to do is put in a bit of ground bait there, make a little bit of stodge, and just put a little bit of stodge with some maggots in on that long line. Not a lot, just like a golf ball size, like a big god ball. That's it all in. So just going to put a few of them and a few casters in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into the ball because it's windy, so I just want it to get down to the bottom. That's what I'm going to feed for that long line. I'm just going to put overwet stodge in that. I've just chopped some worms up as well. But I just feel like everything's going to be short today because that wind is horrendous. So line it up with where I'm fishing. Pop that in. So to start with, on that short line, I'm just going to put in a tiny little thumbnail of ground bait and then just a handful of casters. No maggots. Just going to put a bit of ground bait in to start. I don't feel like I put any more in, but if they start responding to it, and now that. And then all I'm going to do is just chuck some casters in the edge there for a bit later on. Ooh. It's the problem with the wind at the minute. I'm not going to feed that left-hand one, the right-hand side lorry at the minute, just because I want to be quite positive and aggressive with that one. And what I mean by that is I want to pot some, how big is this? 4x40, I need a 4x16. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pot it quite aggressive, like I was kind of catch carp, because apparently a load of skimmers have been being caught in the edge. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to pot it quite aggressive for like carp sort of thing. I'll just off that area quite close to me. I'm just going to put single maggot on for now, just to see if we get a bite. Now the reason why I've just got a bit of pole behind me is I can be able to flick it out a bit easier. I'm going to be mainly loose feeding this line, hopefully. That's where hopefully we're going to get a few of our bites, but nice little top 4 down the edges and a short line. I haven't gone too far. It's probably just up the slope a little bit, that is. But I think it might take a little while to kick in. I've just gone with the 4/16, so that's the little thought of today. Just going to feed some casters short on this short line. Top 6, try and get him around the float. Feed some little stodgy balls long if I need to drop a rigging and cling on and see if I can catch any skimmers like that. And then I've got my edge line, so the talk was, I spoke to a couple of people, but the talk was that a lot of the fishing, we're gonna, oh, that's what, just go a little bit further, so like flip where you got that and bring it back. A lot of the fishing is going to be a lot of short work, and especially with this wind, I feel like to make anything half presentable, you're going to have to try and fish a little bit close to myself. It's a nice depth, it's still 5 foot deep. But it might take a little while to start catching and then fish to come in, but I think if it does warm up a little bit, we have got the wind, but I just feel like the wind's a little bit too harsh at the minute. So all I'm going to do with them stodgy balls long is just make like little thumbnail bits when I go in, just feed them every like 2 or 3 fish if I need to. See if that works. Yeah, a little bit different to the last one, a bit more loose feedy and sort of like fishing for roach and stuff, but rig wise I've just got 4/16 and the 4/14 F1 fine on this short line. Got 4/12 in my left hand edge, got 4/14 in my right, and then on the long line I've just got a 0.5 Kerry. Flick that out. Just because to try and keep a bit of stability there, but see, no one's gone in and caught anything yet. I'm just going to keep that loose feed going in. Might be the case of the first couple of hours it's a little bit harder, and then as time goes on you drop in. So that's the thing with silverfish fishing, like I want to film the start just because you see how you set the peg up, think about what you're trying to. That's a bite then, that was. Rat it with me old strikers then. Trying to settle the peg, see what the little plan of attack is, and then obviously throughout the day it's obviously hopefully going to get a lot better. Yeah, I feel like if I don't get any bites on this short line, I'm not going to be too worried. Wind's calmed down now and it's gone everywhere. Don't be too worried and just feel like give it 10 minutes here, see if I get a quick bite and see if anything lingering, and then if it doesn't, I'm just going to feed it up, feed my edge up, and hopefully just go on that long line and see if we catch anything. But weight-wise, you're probably thinking like, you fish really well in the week. I think Lewis Breed's won with, hey, oh, another bite. And a roach. Should we count them? I'm just going to take a shot off because I can't actually see it that well. So that was a nice little roach. Just on a single maggot. So I'm not expecting to go in and just clunk everything straight away. Keeping an eye around the lake, see what they're doing, people are up to, but Jesus, that wind is hard to fish in. There you go, flick it past, bring it back. That's the beauty of trying to have some rubbish on my rig now. I think it's gusting in my face, so just keep that thin casters going in down that edge, trying to feed the ducks. Now what I have done as well is I've just put a line on the bottom, so I'm a little bit over depth because I feel like the lake's going to move today. Now what I mean by that is because it's windy, it's going to tow. It's a quite big lake, this. It's not a small lake, so it's going to move a lot, which will help the fishing because it'll make the fish a little bit more confident and it won't be sort of like shy, delicate bites. What you find is when the water's moving, there you go, when the water's moving, they are small then. When the water's moving, you do find you get a few more indications, or more positive bites, sorry. Talking a load of nonsense. Ooh. I'll flick that in. You see there, just obviously if you can get bites, they're not the right stamp, but obviously it keeps you in motion, keeps your work rate. I don't know if that was a bite on the drop then. Yeah, it was. That's what I mean. It's going to be a sort of frustrating day today because I reckon you'll feel like this is one of them days where you'll feel like the conditions are going to do you over, but you just got to fish to them. Is what it is. That's why I like little things like having your pole a little bit there, so you can just flick it past anyway. Bulk went then. So you can know where your bulk goes in. The rig's all over the place here. What are they doing? Come on. But the thing is, my section is peg 20, I want to say 23, round to peg 1. So it's this bank at which I'm on. It's the bank I did the talking on. So it's not like I'm fishing against people on the back of the wind over there. I'm fishing against people who are going to have the same issue as me. So if I think I can try and get it half right today, that's the bite then, half right today. See, that was lovely now. Why can't it just be like this, a little ripple? And everyone's against it. It's like you don't feel like you're hard done by. This is why it's nice, these sort of things, these sort of like matches, because I'm just fishing against 5 people here. Hey, something a bit bigger, that one. Yeah, all this. Just fishing against 5 people. It's a little dinky roach. That's a nice one. I'm not trying to fish against the whole lake, which normally obviously like sort of different qualifiers up and down the country. That's what sort of happens, you get up against it and you get a bit demoralised, but today it's going to like, I feel like I'm going to have to work for 5 hours and just keep persevering and putting the fish in a net. So I won't leave that long line too long, but it's a good sign we've had some bites. Ash next to me's just hooked a couple of roach, so you know the small things like I had, but it's a fish nonetheless. And that ground bait might come important when skimmers start to feed, so I'm not too worried about feeding it yet. That's why I haven't fed that right hand line. I feel like if the skimmers do start to feed, that's when I'll start, probably halfway through. I'll start to feed quite aggressively. I'm going to pod it like I'm trying to catch a carp. Say quite aggressively on that. Like it's probably like 3.5, 4 foot near enough on that edge of the aerator. But Mel out the shop, who runs the fishery, he told me that a lot of the fish have been catching in the edges. That's a bite. A lot of fish have been catching in the edges, so that's what I thought. I'll fish a line a little bit different. I'm just going to pot that. I'm not going to loose feed it, I'm just going to pot it. I chopped up some worms just in case I feel like I need to do that, but I put some pellets in my ground bait. Just gone a bit carpy. I might hook an odd carp, but one of them, I'm going to take that risk and gamble, because if I do hook a few bream, there is some really nice fish in here. Sort of like pound skimmers and stuff. Oh, that's beautiful, that's fishing lovely now, that rig. So yeah, we've had a few bites to start with. That's a better fish, that one. Roach I'm going for. Yeah, lovely. Won't mind this. This is what I mean, that moorlands, I just felt like I don't really know what I'm doing today, but that moorlands, I just felt like, I'm just going to try a double maggot. I just felt like it's a bit too specialised for me, and what I mean by that is the fishing was quite tricky, and this could be, but I just feel like if I just do my own thing and get bites, I can tack it my own way, and that's where I think it's ideal. When you've got to do it a certain way, you're not on it straight away, it can cost you. But when I feel like it's going to be a bit like this, where just be dead attacking, and you can just put fish in the net. And that's when I feel like it can be nice and positive and come into your own. So I'm just going to try a white maggot. I'm not going to feed any maggots just because I feel like it'll go everywhere today, and I just feel like I want to be positive and throw casters in. Be nice and positive. You could have thought I could have gone a little bit further, but I just feel like it's a nice little distance. It's on the rig now. Ugh. Tell you what, this wind is mad. Just need to be nice and sensible, that's it. Flick it out, come back to me, stop. Don't want to get caught out trying to fish too far. That's what I'm thinking at the minute. And then obviously if some better fish start feeding, trying to try different upbaits, bigger upbaits. Yeah, bite there. Yeah, they are small fish, so I'm just going to keep plodding on with these. They are small, but I'll just put some in the net for now. And I'm going to come back when something changes, and hopefully we're catching a few more. Right, so we're just over an hour and a half in now, and I've just had probably my best little spell of the match. Caught a few fish in that short line, but I've dropped back on it and not caught nothing. But I went on this long line, just kindling a bit of small nuggets of ground bait, slightly over wet, just fishing double maggot, and I caught like these 3 or 4 ounce skimmers. Not one every single time, but we just got some bites. Now the only thing that's difficult is obviously the weather, and this might not be, you might not be able to hear me on it properly just because of the wind. That's what I'm concerned about, but it's so hard to fish at the minute. But what I decided to do, it just felt like the water was moving. Obviously it's towing, so I just put a little bit more line on the bottom. And what I've done as well is I've slopped my ground bait up a little bit more. So I've fed like near enough a slop. And I've just had my best little run, just every chuck, just feeding like a cab pot size of ground, medium pot, just filling it with this slop stuff and just dropping it in. Now, these are the little skimmers I'm talking about. But as you can see, it is so windy. Ooh. So windy. Whoa. Hopefully I'll be able to try and shield the mic, but it might be a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, just fishing double maggot, double red maggot, and I'll show you what I'm feeding now. Just got a few maggots in what I'm feeding. Just a tiny bit, like a stodge, like I'll be feeding like a little conker size just in my pot. It's quite gloopy and stuff. That's why that Thatcher's and Sweet Skimmer, that's my ground bait I've got today. But it's ideal for this. I just feel like I'm getting the odd bite on it. Now, pop that in. Try and get over there. I know I need to catch, obviously, to do well, I'll just need to catch in the edge and short, but for the minute, I can see my section, everyone's struggling just because of the wind, so it's bitterly cold, my hands are freezing. Not actually nice conditions, but I'm just trying to adapt to them and trying to make the most of it. That's what we've got. Just seem to be getting a few bites, whether it's just, I'm not loose feeding anything long, I'm just literally potting it in. Just that cloud of that ground bait must be just drawing them in. The key is though not to try and strike too hard because I get carried away, because it's so hard to set my rig in position because of the wind. You can't actually just go out and flick it out. Just a little lift, like a pellet lift. Now elastic, I probably like a lighter elastic, but I've just got a 9 jaw slip just because I didn't actually have any more match kits done up, and I've got obviously 4 kits for my short lines with like 2 with single 6 and 2 with single 8. So I didn't feel like this line would be as productive as it is. And to be honest, I feel like to do well and you have to catch shorter later on, but for now, for like the first couple of hours, I just feel like it's going to be a little bit harder. But as soon as you can get regular bites on that short line, I think that's where we're going to be. But it's really interesting, like ground bait is how good it as it is. I've tried like feeding it every other chuck, but it doesn't seem to work as well. I've got to get a break in the wind now, so just drop it in. Doesn't seem to work as well feeding it every other chuck. Every chuck needs to be get quick regular bites sometimes on it. I feel like now it's just about trying to get the rig in position, and once you get the rig in position and sat right, it goes under. That's the hard part, just trying to blowing around everywhere. It made me think maybe on a short line, with my short line is I need to put a little bit more line on the bottom. So what I might do, I've got my 4x16's got quite a short, my short 4x16's got quite a short little skim of that one. Just a little tangle in there. It's sitting a bit funny. Might be why it wasn't so good that time, because maybe I was a little bit off the bottom or something. But yeah, it's so hard to. It's quite tricky filming as well, just because of the weather and stuff. But I'm keeping all my other lines fed. I've put a little tiny nugget of ground bait in on my short line just to see if that can bring any fish in. But yeah, in a minute I'm just feeding a little bit of stodge, feeding that edge. I've just seen a couple of people catching on fishing the edge, and I feel like that's where the bigger fish will probably turn up. I'm not going to turn up in the middle of nowhere in the middle of a lake, but I feel like they'll catch them short. But hopefully you can hear me, and then we've got a bit of footage for the match. But it's going alright at the minute. I'm actually enjoying it. It's so hard to work, but it's a little bit different to the last match, where I feel like everyone's in a bit the unknown today, as where last match we had a lot of regulars and stuff on the match. So don't get me wrong, there's good anglers on today, but good anglers that knew the venue. Today everyone's good anglers, but they don't really know the venue, so everyone's going to have to make it up, sort of thing. Come on, just stay like that wind, it'd be lovely then. But yeah, we've got fighting a battle here against the weather, but hopefully we can see what I mean there. You get it in the right place, that rig just sits still a little bit quicker. Another skimmer there. See, that's the size we've been catching, probably like 2-3 ounce. Nice fish. But it's crazy, you wouldn't think that. I'm feeding a little stodge every time. I've just got a separate tub for my ground bait. I'm not all stodged everything up in my ground bait, but just got a separate tub. And all I've been doing is just making little batches of it. Adding some maggots in. It's got micros in as well, which I think are helping. I feel like if you could fish pellets long on this venue, it'd be really good. And especially now. Just because of the right size fish, but there's not a chance in hell that that's going to happen with this wind. But it's just died down a little bit. They've got a break now, so hopefully we can see that. If I can get that in position now, right over the ground bait, you might be able to see. It's just like try and talk you through how you do get real quick bites, and you're not sitting there for ages and it's going. You spend most of the time faffing around trying to get in the right position, and then it goes. Hey up, big herring. What's he doing? The herring nearly landed on my head then. A little fish grabbed onto that. Yeah, that's what I think at the minute, just keep putting fish in the net. It's going to be in the net, not on the thing. Keep putting fish in the net. That's a bit enough to make a new batch. So I'll make a new batch for you when we're here. So all I've been doing is just a handful of ground bait, handful of pinching mags, probably like 20 maggots, and I'll just have to slop it up with some water. Probably only takes a bit, like a couple of cab pots of water. Oh, and got some ground bait then. He's off again, that Aaron. Not bothered him. I do think that a telltale sign that some bigger skimmers and stuff might start feeding is if people start hooking a few carp, or you get a few F1s and carp in your peg. I'm just sense at the minute, nothing's. I haven't seen really anyone. I'll probably. Oh, hey up. As I say, that's some guys just putting one back now. So, but probably jinx myself now and hook one. But just feel at the minute. A little bit, it's quite hard to catch everything. Just got to put some fish in the net. That's what I'm thinking. Put some fish in the net for now. Keep trying the other lines, and then one thing I will do is maybe I've got a 4x14 set up short. I know it seems a little bit light, but I can just put a little bit on a line on the bottom. Just give me a bit more stability and put it in the right area, because I feel like once it's there for long enough, that's when you get your bite. And obviously the lake's towing a little bit, so it's dragging your rig through. So I'm not too worried about not seeing a bite or indication. That's right there. That's a bit better skimming, that one. I should have a bit lighter elastic on, but hey ho. Yeah, that's good in that one. They're the ones we want. Yes, come on. So yeah, that's the little way we're catching them. Nice little skim in that one. Look at that one. Ooh. Nice little skimmer. They're the ones we want, so I'll keep trying to go on. Hopefully we're catching a bit shorter, and this wind's done one. You'll be able to hear me a little bit better. Right, you join us with, I always say that actually, right, you join us. It's like a common thing, but you join us for nearly an hour left. And to be honest, I've given up the ghost, and I'm going to be truthful here. Given up the ghost, couldn't really catch anything. I've had a couple of carp on this aerator, and I thought like, wow, next to nothing's going to happen. And all of a sudden I've just literally caught £5 in 3 chucks on this line where I'm just kindering some stodgy ground bait now. Just kindering stodgy ground bait with some maggots in, with some pellets as well. Yes, I'm going to hook an odd carp, but I just had 3 fish there for like £5. 3 big skimmers I've had. So what I've done now is I've just potted some ground bait to my left in that other left hand margin. GoPro went off. So other left hand margin. So, but other than that, I've probably got like 10-11 pounds, which I'm not sure whether it's doing okay or not. But Ash next to me started to catch a good skimmer on his short line. Not sure what he's got, but it's become apparent as soon as the carp started feeding. The carp and F1 started feeding, everyone started hooking a few, then some skimmers got caught. Now one thing I reckon I should have done is just fish one line at 6 metres instead of trying to be clever and just fish a long line and a short line as well. I should have just fished on that flat bit about 6-7 metres out and just kindred that wet ground bait, but I didn't know that was the thing. But yeah, I feel like I'm going to hook a carp on this in a minute, because I got lucky before. And caught 3 skimmers and 3 chucks, and obviously when it goes a little bit quiet, and carp are pronounced for coming in, but not loose feeding anything over it and just feeding some over wet ground bait. It's really nice actually, that mix. It's nice and sticky. It's really nice for like, obviously I put a little bit too much water in it, but it's really good for like over wetting and stuff. It goes into a nice little stodgy heavy ball, which I feel like is important because it sinks fast and also gives off that cloud effect. As well, like you say, if you had a super crush, it gives off a brilliant cloud effect, but it's not as heavy as say your thatchers and stuff, so it's going to sink a little bit slower than just puffs out a little bit more. So that thatchers just sinks really quick, which is ideal. Yeah, just had three skimmers and 3 chucks in that edge on the top 4 there, which is crazy. But I've done the same that side. I've put some ground bait in just because I feel like I need to draw something in now. That obviously not feeding casters hasn't worked. I've only caught, I've actually had one bite down there, it was a roach, and I've not had another bite since, so feeling a little bit positive with ground bait, just seeing, say you only need 5 or 6 more bites of them things and you've got nearly 15-20 pound if they're the right size. That's one thing you can wait for. Now one thing I noticed as well, when people do catch skimmers, it's not like it's quite patient. You have to sit there for a while and catch them, but then all of a sudden you get like, when you do catch one, I think it's important not to mess around and do something like, say, like feed another line or try and, say, drop on somewhere else because you think you need to rest it. Every time I've caught a big decent skimmer, I've gone in next chuck and had like 2s, and I feel like that's happened around the lake a lot as well. But it's absolutely freezing today. That wind has been an absolute nightmare. Been really hard to fish in. I think it's ruined the fishing because I think it'd have been really good if it was a bit calmer. Just because of the size of the skimmers, you'd have caught them smaller skimmers early and then you could have dropped in the edge and caught them bigger skimmers. But that's what we're facing with at the minute. Just need to try and put something in the net. I feel like that long line was just getting too hard to try and put my rig in and stuff. I needed a heavier rig really, but I didn't have any with me. It's typical now, turn the camera on, it's not got a big skimmer waiting on the end of it, but so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this bit of ground bait in again. Having to just sort of chop and change with the cupping kit in the section, so I need to put a bit of water in there. It can take a bit of water, this ground bait, when you start doing it. And what I do is just add some maggots into it. I'll take another scoop. Took me number 4 off for this, but nice and stodgy, over wet. Lots of pellets in. I'm gonna make a little golf ball size. Get to my mark, drop it in. Try and rescue my rig, because this has happened about 1,000,000 times today. Blooming wind, man. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to hear me, and that's the problem, but hopefully it comes out okay. I'm just going to loose feed that short line as well, I mean. I did hook something decent on that before, but I lost it. Now there's tangled. Classic. So it's so windy today. There's so many little rat rounds and stuff. Stuck in the keep net, here we go. Here's what not to do by Matt Dawes. There we go. Right. Let's get this rig in position. Like I said, it's been so hard to catch. But them 3 fish have just given me a bit of spur of life, to be honest. Because to be honest, I was ready to go home. And then all of a sudden, that happened. It's just changed my mindset and my concept of wanting to do well on it. So, which can happen. Should never ever give up. And just see if that ground bait makes any difference whether we catch a skimmer or 2. Oh, that was a bite then. Might be a roach. just need a little lease of life here now. Just hopefully you can get another little runner, bit better skimmers, but so it's been difficult to catch them. Wind's been absolute nightmare. So far it's ruined a decent match today just because the thing, if you can get no bite off these, you don't mind catching something in your net. So you've always got the other side as well. Oh my god. Broke some sign off there. Now I've had to do the ending after the match because obviously the weather was horrific. If you can actually see from these videos, it started blustering, blowing a gale, and to be honest I just wanted to get off home as well after filming because I feel like the weather was up against us. I got everything a little bit wrong and that's what I'm going to speak about now, but we did have a little surprise which I'll show you now. I'm just trying to see if we can get a bite again, but it's crazy to think I've actually loose fed that casters all day to the left and have a one roach and I haven't loose fed anything there. That's an F1. Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be a carp or an F1 that. Bugger. I was due one of these to be fair. But yeah, that's what's happening at the minute. You want to see? An F1 that. What, with the weird tail? Now, looking back at the footage, in the moment I thought it was an F1, but it was actually probably a deformed carp sort of thing, but it was a big fish. Now, one thing, I did hook a few carp on that sort of area, but it was to be expected. I did fish that sort of way I did fish quite aggressively, but I did catch another skimmer there. And I just felt if I had a little run of them skimmers, that's where I could put myself up to. I didn't know what sort of people had, but we ended up. I'll do the results and then we'll talk about what probably went wrong because this Scottish thing is probably, it's not doing me head in, but it's a bit of a pressure situation because I'm filming. I'm trying to show the journey of it and it's not going to plan, which probably makes good viewing for you guys, but it's not very good for my stress levels. So overall, weighed £15. I think in the section there was a 17 Ashley next to me, so I got chip chopped either side. Richie had 21, and then Harry Billing won the section on peg 1 with £24. So well done, pal. Other weights around the lake, Frosty won the match and the other section on peg 4, I think it was. Yeah, 4. And then Kagsy's qualified as well off peg 21. I want to say something like that. So the three that got through were Kagsy, Harry Billing and Frosty, Darren Frost. So yeah, they've got to the Scottish final, they've got the tickets, so well done guys. But yeah, looking back, maybe should have just fished 6 metres in that deep, a little bit of water, fed that ground bait. I feel like that I was onto some with that, but I just feel like speaking to Kagsy afterwards, he's got on pellets. Now, I was a bit gutted because obviously the wind was so bad in front of me. It doesn't look that bad when I've actually edited and looked back at the thing, but it's just so hard to fish in, to present your rig right. Every time I got my rig right and in position, I'd catch like a little skimmer or a bigger skimmer, and I just feel like if I could have fished pellets, because I put some pellets in that ground bait, I could have caught some. But £15, it was there was a lot more to be caught there. That's where I got the match wrong, but then I was too aggressive trying to catch up, and that's what one thing I speak about, when you're trying to chase someone and it doesn't work, it just spirals out of control, and we didn't really catch anything. So I'm trying to hold my phone. So it's one of them, it's frustrating for one of them things. I feel like the Moorlands match was probably a bit, there was something to fish there, a method, and I didn't get it right. And then obviously the same again at Old Hough. But the thing is, when you go into these venues, you're not going regular. So what I want to do is I want to try and be nice and positive, want to fish my own way. I think that's really important in fishing, but it's costing me at the minute. It's not very good. And then this is the problem when you go into venues. Say if I went to, say, Western Pools, I know exactly how to fish there. I know exactly how to fish at certain venues just because I've been so much. I know what it's like. But this different style of fishing has not even got to the natural venues yet, which we're going to have to go to now, because they were the only two commercial fishing ones, I think. And probably being a bit naive, I thought I might be alright on them ones. I might be able to sneak through if it's a pellet match sort of thing. I was a bit overconfident with it. So now I've really got to test my limits and go to sort of like different venues. Obviously, I think I can do 4 on the River Weaver, so I've got to go on the river. So it'll be something a little bit different for this channel. But yeah, the quest for that Scottish adventure is not going too well. Bit frustrating, but I hope you've enjoyed the live match. Comment below anything you think about the video. It just helps with the channel as well. It's absolutely free to subscribe, so don't forget to do that. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully we get some better weather, not like the horrific one we had. Hopefully we get that golden ticket in the future, but I'll see you when I'm on the bank for that quest to Scotland in the coming months.